And Sandy, will you note the time?
It is now 11:32
All right.
a.m.
11:32 a.m. and I call the meeting to order. Okay. I will begin with an adoption of the agenda for today's meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second? Ray, can you hear me?
Seconded.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All those in favor can signify by saying aye or thumbs up. Okay. All right. So we've approved the agenda for today's meeting. All right. We also had the minutes from our March meeting. Did anyone notice any errors or omission in the minutes? And if you've had a chance to review the minutes of our previous meeting, any questions or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the minutes of our previous meeting.
So moved.
Thank you. Second, please.
Seconded.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded that we will do the agenda for approve the minutes of our previous meeting. Okay. All those in favor, is there any objection? Any objection? Any objection? All right, then the minutes of our previous, our March the 24th meeting is approved. Okay, we're going to go straight to item number 3 on the agenda, which is the Executive Director's Report. Marcus.
Good morning, all.
Yes, morning.
I have a new headset, so can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. I'm going to start sharing my screen. And here you should see first the mediation program year-to-date report. It's been quite some time since we had these two reports. The last one was given on December 15th, 2025, if you can believe that. So we have a good chunk of data to report on, and it's been quite a busy time for many reasons. So you see here, year to date, so from
Marcus, you're not sharing.
Oh, I'm not sharing?
No, not yet.
I
Maybe
can
it's
see
just
it.
me.
I can see
okay.
it.
Yeah, I can see it too.
Okay. All right. Well, guess what? It is just me. So let's proceed.
Okay, well, I can describe what is on the screen here.
Oh,
So,
there it
oh,
is.
there it is. Okay, excellent. Yes, so we're looking at the period from July 1st, 2025 through yesterday was when I did the report. We have had since the last report, 11 additional cases referred into the mediation process. So we have 22 fiscal year to date. And with that pool and cases coming in prior to that, we have a total of 11 dispositions. So from the last report, 6 additional cases. Four of those were settlements. Two of them went through mediation but did not result in a settlement. So year to date, there are 7 settlements that we've had, as well as 4 non-settlements. The successful settlement rate is 63.6%. And as we go further down the primary bases for the mediation settlements, we have a variety. So 2 settlements were based on disability as a primary basis, then age, arrest and court record, familial status, race, retaliation. So again, a variety of bases there. The types of cases that settled, 6 of them were dual filed, so meaning they were dual filed with either HUD or EOC, depending on their housing or employment cases. One of them was a state-only law case. And then of the 7 settlements, 4 of those cases were for employment cases, 3 were for housing cases, no public accommodation cases yet. And then finally, when we look to the bottom category, and these are the mediation organizations, Mediation Center of the Pacific has been the most active this fiscal year. They've had 8 cases, 4 of which resulted in settlements, so 50%. And then for our in-house mediation process, we've had 3 cases go through, all of them housing cases. All 3 did result in settlements. So again, overall, 7 cases successfully mediated out of 11, 63.6% success rate, which is good. It's quite good. And so I can move on to the caseload report unless there are any questions here.
I have a question, Marcus.
Yes, John.
Were they settled in favor of the plaintiff or the other entity?
Well, I think that's the beauty of settlements, particularly in mediation, is they are, first of all, the parties all have to agree to enter into mediation voluntarily, and there can only be a settlement if all the parties agree to something that is agreeable to them to dismiss the complaint. So I would say that they're favorable to all sides. I mean, this is really the best course in many cases for there to be a resolution early in the process, as well as one that all the parties can walk away. Maybe they're not 100% satisfied all the time, but they are satisfied enough that they can walk away and, that's the end of the case. So, to me, that's a win.
Question for you, Marcus. Is there a rhyme or reason why some of the cases go to in-house mediation and some of them go to MCP?
Yeah, the vast majority of in-house cases are housing cases. As of now, we do not refer out the housing cases to the other mediation centers. Although if the parties would like to do private mediation for a housing case, they can choose to do so. We don't get many of those. We do in-house sometimes take other types of cases, but the majority, like I say, are housing cases.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. I will then move on to the next report, which is our caseload report. And I think it's kind of nice actually that we have a big chunk of data to look at to see some of the, more pronounced trends rather than month to month. So, what I'll say first off is that the total number of our cases, and I'm going to highlight some things here. What is 363 as of yesterday. The previous report back in December, we had 414. So that's a total of 51 fewer cases in our caseload than last report, which to me is actually a pretty significant number. I wasn't really expecting that. So you can see based on the changes from the last report to this report, we still have a few cases from filed in 2018 that are still there. Those are the oldest, probably most challenging ones at this point. But we do have movement. So we have 2 fewer cases from 2019 from last report, 1 from 2010, so on and so forth, and pretty considerable numbers. 10 fewer cases that were filed in 2021, 18 fewer cases from 2022, et cetera, et cetera. And then as far as this should be 2026 here. I'll correct that. We have 44 cases in our present caseload that were filed in 2026. That breaks down to 68 complaints filed, and then 24 of those complaints have already closed, right? So I think that shows we're addressing both the intakes that are coming into our office at a high rate, as well as working on closing and investigating all the cases within our caseload, regardless of age, but also concentrating as much as we can on the oldest cases in our caseload. That results, I will show, and I tend to say that this is the most important category is the case aging, because that really gives sort of a relative view of the age of our total caseload. We still have a lot of work to do. I mean, we do have 34.4% of our cases 2 years or older. But if you look compared to last report, it was higher. It was at 38.2. So we still have a lot of work to do. I mean, we are trending in the right direction, and that's something that's encouraging. And I'm going to go further down just to highlight what I think is the most relevant thing here. When we look at the breakdown by type of case, and we could go through in some detail, but much of it has not changed so much from previous reports. One thing that I do see as being fairly significant is if you look at the pending assignment category. So these are cases where our investigators have done the intake with the potential complainant. There's jurisdiction, they file the complaint, we get the response back. And at that point, a case may wait for there to be an available investigator to actually conduct the investigation to completion. So it will be pending, in a category. If it's not pending, if it goes out of pending, it would typically be active investigation where, interviews are being done, et cetera, et cetera. So what I would point out is, as far as the pending category goes, um, as of yesterday, we had 24 cases in pending. The previous report back in December, we had 95 cases pending. So I think we really have made a concerted effort to get the cases in the hands of investigators who can actually do the work, investigate, and then that's really what we're about, right? I mean, to file in as timely a manner as we can, investigate in as timely a manner as we can, and get a disposition, out to the parties. So to me, that is a very good sign, and everyone's working very hard here. I can assure you of that. Okay. Um, I'll move on, and I can field questions if there are any after, but I'll just go to the last category here, which is similarly instructive, I think. So this is the year-to-date breakdown. So comparing periods of time, this year, previous year, et cetera, going back 5 years. So if we look at the fiscal year starting in July 1st and moving, to the present date, or yesterday actually. So this is the category we're looking at here for this fiscal year, and where we see a bit of distinction from the previous years. As I've been reporting, we continue to receive a large number of pre-complaint questionnaires from the public. And you can see 660 as opposed to 496, 477, et cetera. So really a pretty big jump. When that happens, we have to take these pre-complaint questionnaires. We have to make sure that they're dealt with within the deadlines. And so as a result, we do have a large number of complaints filed from those pre-complaint questionnaires coming in. So 215 as opposed to, last year, 149, 166 at the same period of time. Likewise, like I mentioned before, we're not only doing the intakes and filings, but we also are investigating cases completion. And we see here 172 year to date, which is a high number. I mean, compared to the previous few years, back in 2021, 2022, we had even higher, 211. But I would say that this is a pretty good number where we are now. Yeah, and so I think, we are doing the best we can. I will tell you that. Everyone's working extremely hard. We're trying to devote our resources in a way that makes sense and is balanced, and is responsive to the needs of the public. So I will field any questions if there are any.
Marcus, if we could scroll back to the mediation.
Oh, mediation, sure.
Yes. Okay. And you can go there right at this section on disposition by center. Just for public information, is there a protocol or something that shows a balance of how we send out? I know we say we hold most of the housing in-house. We have several other opportunities here for mediation selection. Is there any priority given to Mediation Center of the Pacific in contrast to these others?
No, there's no intentional preference. It's I think just reflective, Mediation Center Pacific is located on Oahu,
Mm-hmm.
where the bulk of our cases are. That I think is the reason why we see cases going there. But no matter where a person, a complainant, a respondent, or business, where something is taking place, wherever a mediation needs to be held, there are centers on the different islands. So we would
It's
just
true.
refer out appropriately to, whatever makes sense for the situation.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. And then I'm good there. Now let's go down to scroll down
The other
to
one?
your next section.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, right in here.
Okay, sure.
Um, okay. So um you caused me to really have a great interest in what I like to think of as trend analysis. Um, so as we took in 68 complaints and we've already closed 24 of those
Yes.
68. Okay. In kind of footnotes, are we able to show um how this compares to our trending last year?
Um,
Are we on par? In other words, I guess there's with respect to comparative analysis, if the year ends at a certain month, whatever we pick, right? I'm
yes.
just curious to see how we're doing in contrast to previous years, closing, not so much the caseload, how we are navigating those cases and actually being able to close them out. This speaks to one of our chief complaints that public has is the
Mhm.
length of time. So if we're able to kind of show that data, that also supports staffing and other and confidence on the
Right.
part of the public that we're being rather responsive. And I'm not saying this is for today. I'm just saying future wise, though, it's helpful for us to be able to um, look at that type of data, that type of trend.
I agree. I think, well, let me address your particular question and I'll answer more broadly. So if we go down to the year-to-date comparison, this is not telling you the whole story, but
Right.
it can tell you a few things as far as just overall numbers of, pre-complaints received. Intake decision means that a pre-complaint questionnaire has been acted upon so that there is either an intake interview done and there's a determination whether there's jurisdiction, or maybe right off the bat you can tell that there's not jurisdiction, or a person goes through intake and doesn't want to file. So whatever that disposition is, that would be the intake decision. And then we have complaints filed, which I think is self-explanatory. Investigations closed. Notice of cause is when there has been an investigation and there's enough evidence to show violation, then it would go to our enforcement staff, our enforcement attorneys. And if it closes in that category of actually having a notice of cause, there would be an enforcement closure. So that's probably not what you're asking. But I guess what I would say more broadly is that one thing that's on the horizon is we are deep into updating a very old, I would say outdated database,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it will transform into a modern database slash case management system. And I think much of the data manipulation and analysis that you may be looking for, I think will be much more easy to pull out from our data once that system is in place. And I would anticipate within this calendar year, I mean, we will be up and running with that upgraded database case management system. So whatever you folks would like to see, hopefully we can, tweak the report, add categories, et cetera, and be more useful to you.
That's exactly where I was leaning. So goodness gracious, you are rather intuitive there in anticipating what my line of questioning was. And again, I think that this goes heavily towards our commitment to transparency and confidence building within the community. Individuals, when they see this, they tend to question, is it really worth me going through the process if,
Mhm.
there is no hope? And so they'll just look at, say, for example, we brought in this number of cases and, we've got enforcement closure of just that number of cases. That, it's the in between that really matters to the public,
Right.
and that's what gives them that full confidence. So I think when this new data system that we're using, its analysis, I anticipate us having a few more categories to explain things, and that's where I was going. I appreciate that. And for the record, for the public, we will close out in reporting years. What month? I see
Uh,
these start in July. So does that mean that we'll close in June?
at the end of June. Yes, correct.
Yes. Okay. And that's it. So we are, if we look at this one, we are on par in uh as far as receipts being well over, we've got another 2 full months to go, and we
Mhm.
are trending high, the highest so far of our 5 year reporting. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, all right, I'm satisfied. Any other commissioners have questions?
Marcus, can you get a little bit more into the process of enforcement closure?
Yes.
Is that, the what happens when the parties aren't able to reach an agreement, a settlement, and what happens?
Yes. So the process from beginning to end, when you have an enforcement closure, it's gone through many steps of the process. So, like you said, John, there are avenues for a person to resolve a case along the way. But when enforcement closure happens, there has been a complaint that's filed, investigation has been completed, and then there's an issuance of a notice of cause. So that means that, in our opinion, as a commission, we feel that there's sufficient evidence to show that there's been a violation. And so from there, anything that happens after that notice of cause is issued that results in the closure of the case would be an enforcement closure. Um,
Uh, Catherine, can you please mute?
yeah, Kat.
Catherine? Hi, Kat. Can you mute your mic? Sorry, thank you.
Okay. So there's a notice of cause. Anything that happens after that point in time that results in the closure of the case is an enforcement closure. So you could have a conciliation agreement, which means that the parties have uh, agreed to resolve the complaint, at sometime after notice of cause. It could be that the case goes all the way to an administrative hearing, and it goes through the hearing, and there's a result from the hearing. So that would be enforcement closure as well. I mean, it could be that the party just drops off the map and we can't locate them, and at some point we have to close the case. So whatever the reason is after notice of cause, that would be an enforcement closure. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you. Does that account for like the length at which the cases are open? I mean, to what extent does that relate to that?
Well, sure. I mean, I think in terms of statistics, I mean, a much smaller percentage of cases go through the process of having notice of cause and then ultimately enforcement closure. But individually, yes. I mean, the length of a case being open um, will be dictated by how far it proceeds in the process. So an enforcement closure, I would say, would typically be years old because it would have to go through intake, investigation, attempts at settlement, and mediation perhaps, and then ultimately it would end up being closed in enforcement. So that is a process. And then to that point, it relates back to, the different avenues we have, and one of them being mediation, which is my initial report. And I start off by saying a lot of times, if a case can be mediated and resolved very early on, that's the best result. I mean, you may go through the whole process and not get a better result in enforcement than you would have early on in mediation. So that's something that we really try to push.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Thank you. Any other commissioners with questions? Okay, if not, is there any response on the public side? Okay. I don't see or hear none. Thank you, Marcus. We're gonna go ahead and shift over
Right.
and
Thank you.
close out that section, and we'll move over to council's report.
All right, good morning, commissioners and staff. So we don't have that much of an update on our contested case hearings, but good news across the board. So Marcus Kawatachi on behalf of the complaint filed by Brandy and Gregory Payne versus Wagner. The contested case hearing was held on January 30th. It was reopened to February 24th for additional memoranda from the parties. The hearings examiner's proposed decision was filed on April 24th, so last week, Friday. And so over the next probably couple commission meetings, we'll discuss the record of the case before we issue a final decision. After a hearings examiner files a proposed decision, then the parties can file written exemptions. But so we have to receive that. So it's still technically open for the next couple weeks. So, but by May, we should be able to discuss preliminarily the case record. For Marcus Kawatachi on behalf of the complaint filed by Diedericks versus Elite E Builders, hearing was held on March 10th through the 12th. It was a 3-day hearing. The hearings examiner's proposed decision should be filed on or before June 10th. And so it'll probably get to the commission late June. We can anticipate that. Marcus Kawatashi on behalf of the complaint filed by Diaz versus Masunagas. A motion to dismiss was filed based on settlement by the parties. So that case is likely done. Just maybe in order to grant or deny the dismissal by the hearings examiner.
Okay, any questions, commissioners? Okay, hearing and seeing none, council will move on to agenda item 5, and this will be our legislative update. And commissioners, you should have received your packet that had the various bills in it. Okay?
All right. So I know we have some members of the public as guests on this meeting. So I don't know if everyone's okay with skipping down to Senate Bill 2852, which relates to discrimination in public accommodations, digital access, and proposal to the HCRC to create administrative rules for testimony
Let's
by the public.
So let's do this. I think that we should be able to move right on through these previous ones, and that way the last one will be the one that we'll spend some time on and hear
Okay.
from the public.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so the first one that would like to discuss is Senate Concurrent Resolutions 184, which requires that the Hawaii Civil Rights Commission create a report on anti-discrimination laws and algorithmic or AI decision making. This is a really interesting topic. It's very timely, with AI becoming more and more a part of our life. At the individual level and businesses and corporations, it is very timely to look at our existing non-discrimination laws and see if it is capable of taking on these algorithmic discrimination cases. So, HCRC staff, we think it's a great resolution. We are up to the challenge. It doesn't look very complex. I sent over the resolution to the commissioners, and it looks like it was adopted in its final form. So, we're going to do it. We have until the start of session for for 2027 to finalize our report. So we'll probably get started on it quickly, but it really just requires us to look at our existing laws, see if there's any issues that we can anticipate, evidentiary, or if we need to make recommendations for legislation. So it does seem doable for us, but we'll see how it goes. But it should be very easy. Well, not easy, but it should be doable for us to put together a report. We'll try to get a draft to the commission by probably November. Marcus, jump in if you're thinking I'm being too optimistic on our timeline. But we'll try to get a report by November to the commission before we, transmit it to the legislature before the start of the next session.
Okay. And is there any action? We've already voted, so there's no action on us, on our part.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was kind of late in the, session, so
Right.
yeah. We submitted testimony on behalf of HCRC staff.
Okay. Which I saw, and so glad to see where it's at. Okay, let's go on to next.
Okay. SCR 11, Federal Equality Act. It basically requests that the federal civil rights law be amended to include protections for sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity in employment, housing, and public accommodation. HCRC staff submitted written testimony basically in support, but it's already been adopted in its final form. So that's going on. The rest of the bills, there is a chance that they are still live, but if they haven't had conference committee, by today, they might not get a final reading. So I just listed them on the agenda just in case they got, to conference committee. So we'll see. But 5G is Senate Bill 2852. We received public comments and testimony on this bill regarding discrimination in public accommodations, digital access, places of public accommodations. It would require that the HCRC create administrative rules, which we've discussed on past commission meetings. But I do believe we do have some public members of the public here to testify and comment on this agenda item.
Okay. All right. So, commissioners, let's give our attention to the public on Senate Bill 2852 proposal. And again, council, just for clarification, before they speak, could you confirm where this bill is at the current moment, the status in the legislature? I want to make sure that's not lost on folks.
Unless the
They're getting to it.
Right. So they did appoint some House conferees. So they got to that point. I think last year a very similar bill got super close, right? But it also didn't pass. But it could still be alive, like I mentioned before. But the final decking is the 30th or 29th. So that's tomorrow. So fingers crossed. But even though this bill might not become law, it's still HCRC's position that we would take complaints of discrimination based on the inability to access a public accommodation because of digital communications, because that's still a denial of the full and equal enjoyment of services, goods, and places of public accommodations. So we have been asked by a couple people on establishing administrative rules because we do have rulemaking ability. We went through rulemaking last year with finalized rules. And currently, we don't actually have any admin rules on public accommodations. So this is a good opportunity to look at what we can do. Even though the bill didn't pass, we still have the authority to create rules on this issue.
Okay. And again, public, I'm going to ask you to hang on for one quick second. If we so chose to create some admin rules, it appears that, this has been a menu item for the legislature now for more than once, and we still haven't been able to sell. So is it your opinion that it's time for us to create some admin rules? If so, are we in a position to give a very broad picture to the public of how long that process would take?
You know, the last go around, it took a really long time because we did an overhaul of our administrative rules, which came out to 170 pages. You know, it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This time would be much more targeted. It won't be 170 pages. So it'd be much quicker. However, we still have to abide by Chapter 91, public notice. So it's, 30 days notice. We have to invite public for a public hearing. If there's any substantive changes, we would have to have a second, public hearing. And then we would have to do more notice, publish it in the newspapers around the state. So there's a lot of notice that we give. So realistically, it might take maybe a year and it can also be less, but we also have to meet in front of the Small Business Regulatory Review Board. So we have to get on their agenda. So that could take, 6 weeks to a month's notice as well. So there's a lot of steps. And then, the governor's approval and signature. There's a lot of steps, but, if it is very targeted, it might be less than a year, but I don't want to
they're
be
getting
unrealistic
close.
about the timeline for this, rulemaking. But we could also, because this bill hasn't passed, we could also narrow down how we want to create these administrative rules. Maybe start off with definitions. What is digital accessibilities? What is the denial of full and equal enjoyment of services, which includes, digital access. So we might want to start the framework, and then maybe next session, if this bill, passes, then we would at least have something, and then we can add to it. So, there's different ways we can go about it.
Thank you very, very much. I think that that's quite helpful to individuals in the public sector that are looking, even though they may be able to file a complaint with the HCRC, to know that we are trying to codify something that has long-standing that their foundation that they'll be able to utilize. So thank you. All right. So I'm going to yield now. Is there public wishing to make provide testimony on this particular Senate bill?
James Gashel here. I don't know if I can be heard.
You can be heard, James.
Oh, thank you very much. Very briefly, James Gashel here. I am State Secretary and Legislative Chair of the National Federation of the Blind of Hawaii. I would say we've probably been the prime movers of the bill in the legislature, and certainly hats off to the Civil Rights Commission for testifying in support with comments on this bill, both last year and this year. I am pleased to say, although it's always fingers crossed, we have conferees now appointed on the House and Senate side, and 24 hours or so to go, maybe a few more hours than that, before conference agreement time for that would run out. So there's always hope. It's not essential. And I think more than anything, the bill has clarified everybody's understanding that the ball really comes back to the Civil Rights Commission to make rules on this subject. And in fact, that's the HD2 version of this bill. It directs the Civil Rights Commission to make these rules. As was explained, really don't have to be directed, but I guess it helps if the legislature says so. And so let me just say that while we hope this passes, also in the written testimony, we've provided the information from the legislative findings as well as the HD2 committee report, which really puts the focus back on the Civil Rights Commission. It's really important. I don't think anybody questions that the Civil Rights Commission would have jurisdiction over digital access, lack of digital access, complaints. But clearly there's no good information out there as to what a covered entity is in detail expected to do. And I think rules would help to give everybody, including potential complainants and covered entities, the rules of the road going forward in digital accessibility. And I'm going to conclude here, but not to get down in the weeds very far, but the federal government, US DOJ, you should look to 28 CFR Part 35, which is the the Justice Department's rules on digital accessibility, implementing Title II of the ADA, which covers state and local government. But there's really no reason why Part 35, 28 CFR Part 35 couldn't be a model for public accommodations, or for that matter, you might consider applying digital accessibility regulations to all of your statutes. Particularly, we were focused on public accommodations, but that's not necessarily exclusive. I'm going to leave it at that and just say thank you very much for your support. National Federation of the Blind of Hawaii, and we're affiliated nationally, of course, on the mainland. We have a lot of expertise in the area of digital accessibility and really look forward to working with you guys on this subject. One of my colleagues is with me here, and we're kind of limited in the technology. I could pass the microphone, the earphones to her if you wanted to hear from Cheryl Nelson next.
Okay. Thank you very much, James. And Cheryl, we would love to hear from you. We appreciate the accommodations there, and we'll look to make that a lot more convenient for you in the future. Cheryl?
Good. Oh, I think it's afternoon now. Thank you so much for your support. My name is Cheryl Nelson. I'm a longtime resident, professional, business owner, and person with a lifelong disability. I can't really add too much to what Jim said, and I don't want to repeat what he said, but I do want people to think about access. We've had 35 years of access law, and in many areas of access, including digital, we still need to do more. I also think it's also really important, and I didn't put this in my testimony, but to remember that there's a lot of people that have much lower tech. And so digital access is one point of access, but there should be many points of access that people can use. Especially a lot of seniors may not have access to digital accessibility, but it needs to be in place. And one of the things perhaps you could consider is having focus groups of people to come in, give their input, ask a series of questions, and have it be diverse, including all different kinds of people, ethnic backgrounds, disabilities, people without disabilities, to give input about what would make things more accessible. So I stand on my testimony. I did submit it in writing. I thank you for listening, and I'm not going to repeat anything that Jim already said. Thank you very much.
All right. Aloha and mahalo for your testimony today to the both of you guys.
Thank you.
Sandy, do we have any additional public individuals wishing to testify?
No, that is it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Commissioners, any comments? Council, any further questions or concerns?
Thank you, Jim and Cheryl.
Thank you.
Okay, if not, we will move on to item number 6. And Marcus or Council, if you guys, want to bring us up to speed on the recruitment process?
I think I can tackle that one. So
All right.
Sandy, so much.
I will say also, in addition to the deputy executive director position, we are actively recruiting for some vacancies that were created since I'm not sure when, but I never brought it up in the past meeting. So I know that we have 3 vacancies for investigators that we're seeking to fill. I think the only constant is change, basically, because we constantly are trying to fill positions and train and so forth. And we've lost some pretty good people, I will say, and they'll be hard to replace. But we are in the process. So that's just one thing I want to inform the commissioners of. As far as the deputy executive,
These are just regular, 3 regular investigators.
yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes. And we are actively recruiting for them. The process is one, I mean, I think we might be familiar. It does take some time, so we're getting there. The recruitment
So,
for the
excuse me, Marcus. So for the listening public, are those positions open at the moment, or they've already been closed and we're in the selection process?
open.
Okay, so they are open, and do you know how long they will still be open?
Well, my understanding, I actually have to check on whether they've been posted or not. But I know
Okay,
that for at least 2, there was the internal vacancy announcement that was completed. Um, I believe, well, I can report back more accurately
thank you.
the next time. But you know, we can anticipate it's a months long process for there to be um, open recruitment, generation of a list of applicants, and DHERD would be the one to Department of Human Resources Development would be the one to make sure that people are minimally qualified. And then at that point, we'd get a list back once a certain number of applicants have applied for the positions. And then from that point, our staff would be the ones who would do the actual contacting of persons, interviewing, and decision making. So that is a
Okay.
process. In the meantime, we are trying to fill positions on an 89-day basis. That's one way we fill in the gaps, as well as we have some interns and some volunteers that may help in different areas. Not the full scope of duties of investigator, but helping out in various ways.
Is that on that, and just because you mentioned it, is that an 89-day fill or a 90-day fill? Some of those have the threshold is different, and so
Right.
could you just articulate that? HCRC does 90-day fills.
To temporarily fill a position that's vacant and it's being recruited for, we use an 89-day hire.
Okay,
So
all right.
we would typically hire them for whatever the position is that we're recruiting for and the level if the person qualifies for a maximum of 89 days, but that could be renewed if the recruitment's still
True.
ongoing. Yep.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure I'm clear. I'm not learning something new here. I
Sure.
appreciate this.
Right.
Okay.
Um, the deputy executive position is the executive director position is different because it's not civil service, it's
Mm-hmm.
exempt and excluded. And so, following the direction of the commissioners from last meeting, we've gone ahead. One thing that needed to be done was to make sure that the position was funded going
Mm-hmm.
forward. And that was actually something that changed fairly recently because we've had some um, requests from the legislature to look at a modified budget. So that hasn't been determined yet, but we had the House and Senate had different ideas about what our budget should be, and that has to be worked out to determine what our final annual budget will be for the coming year, for our state funds. So I don't anticipate there being a problem. I mean, even if we have a reduction of some sort, and that's the thing I was trying to determine for sure, is we can fund the 3 investigator vacancies plus the deputy position, um, at least for the short/medium term. Um, So yes. So what we're doing is based upon direction of the commissioners is having the position posted internally within the department as well as externally through the HSBA site that has job postings. And so I think we determined last time that it would be for a period of 2 weeks that we'd accept submissions. So I can anticipate by the next meeting, we should have a list of applicants that we can work with from there. Um, I can tell you that, and I think I reported last time that we've had just, through the grapevine, people contact us with letting us know that they would like to apply or they know people would like to apply. So I think based upon that, we'll have I know of good candidates already from that list, so I think we'll be fine. Yep.
Excellent. Excellent.
Mhm.
Okay, commissioners, any questions regarding where we are right now on the hirings process? And thank you for the additional information with respect to the budget as well. Okay, and I don't see or hear any. So I will now go on to item number 7, which is our general discussion. And basically, we use this just to make sure we are providing any information that we want or need to the public. And so I'll just highlight what some of the intents of previous questions centered on making sure that we were transparent, that moving forward, hopefully by the end of the year, we will have some new processes that we will be able to showcase that will yield broader information on how we are reporting out data through new systems that we're going to be using. And that system is already online. It's just that we haven't finalized everything. So I look forward to the end of the year where we will have some more in-depth reporting. With that, we're ready to move on to agenda item 8. And this is a rather heart piece for me here as we announce departure of Commissioner Nichols. Ray has been extremely dedicated, and we definitely appreciate all that you've done. Long before you were a commissioner, you were faithful and supportive and engaging with the commission. So it's yeah, it's a little bit heavy on our hearts that we say aloha to you as well as mahalo for what you have done. We definitely wish you Godspeed and all of the success in your endeavors. And I will yield upon a personal privilege to you if you would like to make any remarks at this moment.
I would. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. I just want to thank everybody for just welcoming me to have a seat at the table and to contribute. Definitely a nice full circle moment, having been an intern a few years ago to come and sit and have a little bit more, even more participation. I think it's an honor to sit in this seat and represent the public, and with civil rights being personal interests of mine, I just really just have appreciated the opportunity, and I hope to cross paths with everyone, professionally and personally. I'd love to see you around. I'd love to work with all of you and collaborate with you in the future. So just thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Ray.
much. Absolutely. We want to, any of the other commissioners have any, or the executive director of staff have any comments?
Sorry to see you go, Ray. I'm kind of mildly shocked, but whatever the future has in store for you, best wishes.
Yeah, I'll just echo John's words. Thank you so much. Appreciate the engagement. That's, well, it's always a pleasure to work with people who are actually, engaged in the work. So thank you. Appreciate it. Best of luck with everything. Sure we'll be seeing you around.
Thank you. And I
Yeah.
should also note that I am graduating here in a few weeks. So May
Congratulations.
17th.
Awesome. Ray, I just want to say that this is bittersweet for me as well. I really do appreciate your time as a commissioner. I'm sorry it couldn't be longer. Um, I'm trying to think back. If there's anyone who has come through our agency, because I really, think this is a launching pad for people for a lot of different things. And I don't know if I can think of anyone who's come through as an intern or otherwise employee and actually become a commissioner. So that's pretty special. And I think, it's just showing up, being willing to serve. That's so important, right? And really do appreciate your always being very thoughtful, contributing, and we just need more people to do that. So again, I'm sorry it couldn't have been a longer time, but I am hopeful that we'll cross paths in the future.
Right, and I just
Thank
Absolutely.
you, Marcus.
Go ahead.
sorry, I just want to add. So I do also want to thank Ray. I think I mentioned this before. I talked with you over email, but it was a short period of time that you're with us, but in that time you accomplished a lot. I think there were a couple contested case hearings that you were able to review the record. And to be honest, in the past, we haven't had a lot of, decisions out. So in that short period of time, you were able to contribute and accomplish a lot. So for that, we thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. He mentioned it, and I was going to say that one, congratulations. He graduates and will pursue the bar exam. So we will have our thoughts and best wishes for that success, as well as a career that rewards what is his passion. This work does take that. And so, on behalf of the community and this commission, we sincerely appreciate. I will send commissioners an invitation to a little event that I'm hosting in his recognition. Okay. I think we're down to, let's see, our next commission meeting dates. I'm looking at either May 12 or May 19. So, commissioners, will you please email your availability of the 12th or the 19th? We are going to definitely, we'll be tight. So, if those days don't work, we will look for another day. Those are just off the top. So please email those two dates, your availability in, so we can finalize when our May meeting will take place. And then just so I'm tracking, Commissioner Muller and John, your term is what year?
Next year, both of us.
27 for both of y'all.
For both of us.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna have to shake the weeds here and get some folks moving, get some confirmations done. So we cannot put ourselves in a position where we cannot conduct the work of the people.
Yeah,
Okay.
and just in particular, I think, I don't know, Connie, do I have any conflicts on any of the pending contested case decisions? Because then you're
No.
gonna be left with two commissioners.
Right. So I both cases are, yeah, no conflicts.
Oh, okay.
First, the Ping versus Wagner case, it is a housing case, but legal aid is not involved.
Okay.
Does not represent the complainants. And the second one is an employment case.
Okay.
Okay. And lastly, I guess before we adjourn, I do want to publicly express my sincere gratitude to the commission, staff, and all for your support to the Hawaii State Legislature, the senators, and the Judiciary Committee for me to be confirmed. I'm very, very grateful, Marcus. I am continuing to receive numerous remarks for your passionate plea for me to be able to be confirmed. So I will do my utmost best to uphold your expectations as a entity. So with that, I want to say thanks to you all for your time today, and I will entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn today. I appreciate you all. We will go in justice. All right. Take
Thank you,
care.
everyone.
Sandy, will you note the time?
It's 12:33.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much. Aloha, everyone.
Thank you.
Aloha.